I'm Fern.
And I'm Fern.
We're the Ferns. And this show is called Literally Between Two Ferns.
And this Fern, who's the expert in analytics,
We bring together the brightest minds in analytics, and I ask them questions.
and I listen.
She listens well,
I try.
and she answers questions.
I try to.
Sometimes she asks questions.
I try that also.
She's good at it.
I try that too.
She's very good.
Thank you.
She's my sister.
She's my sister.
We love each other.
And we're between the two Ferns.
Literally.
Literally.
Welcome, Andrew Mundell. Or do you prefer Andy?
I'll answer to anything.
Okay, good. Andrew Mundell, you're in data security. Could you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, that's right. And thanks so much for having me in this lovely Brooklyn basement on the hottest day of the year. I work for a company called Sophos. We make IT security products for the network, encryption, and endpoint via antivirus protection.
And your Twitter following is?
I can't find.
I thought we discussed Twitter was. We're not doing that. We're not talking about Twitter.
Is that because of an identity thing, or
Well, we get
your data
asked.
security identity?
I get asked a lot if, I'm a spy. I have
James
this.
Bond.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Oh, great,
Kingsman.
thanks for that. That's Bond, please. Only Bond, yeah. That's kind of what I was going for. It fits in with the persona of working for an IT security company as well.
Are you willing to start a Twitter account? I sort of need all the hype I can get around this show and the event that we're trying to promote.
Oh,
Accelerate.
sure, yeah.
Maybe you want to tweet while we're talking.
Yeah, let's do that. I have my phone right here.
Okay, yeah. All right, set up the account and, I'll just ask you questions and hashtag FernFern, hashtag Accelerate, hashtag TDWI.
It's a lot of hashtags.
A lot of hashtags, but, you got to get into it fast, man, okay?
Yeah, we'll do it. I'm doing it. Yeah.
This is fast moving.
Yep.
Okay, I think data security is fast moving too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially with some of the more recent things that we're seeing in terms of antivirus and malware. It's definitely an interesting challenge to see how we protect our customers against all of those threats.
How do you use machine learning to do that?
We're using machine learning, specifically deep learning, not only to hashtag accelerate the way that we respond to threats, both from malware and from URLs, but to do that more accurately and taking up less resources on our customers' machines.
How do you deal with data prepping and data sourcing?
Yeah, we're big believers in garbage in, garbage out. And it's really important that the samples that we take and that we process through the model are as realistic as possible. So when we're collecting samples from the wild and analyzing them, we want to make sure that it's as wide a variance of those samples and as realistic of a data set as possible.
Wild, like unicorns in the wild? You have no idea what I'm talking about?
Unicorns? No. Unicorns, interesting. I guess that explains this.
It's all magic. How do you feel about dirty data?
We think it's really important to have the largest collection of appropriate samples. So when we're looking at malware and looking at malware analysis, we see lots of organizations use machine learning against small subsets of data. Those don't always give the level of protection that we want to. So we think it's super important to have as wide a variance in those samples as possible, both for individual malware files, but also things like malicious URLs.
So dirty data is good data. What about the cloud?
We see lots of customers not really understand the full security implications of cloud. There's a thought that the cloud is either inherently secure or insecure, and really it's neither, it's neutral.
Fern, does that make sense with your audit background?
Well, that was 100 years ago, but it's very complicated.
Yeah, interesting. I was thinking about clouds and the fact that it's cloudy in Seattle, and that's where Accelerate is going to be.
What is Accelerate?
Accelerate is our 3-day event that's going to be held in Seattle in mid-October, October 16th through the 18th. And it's all about helping people like analysts, data scientists, executives, engineers fast-track their path to analytics success. What's your view on open source and security?
Open source is interesting. It's, in theory, more secure because it's open. So security researchers are freely able to analyze the code and find and fix vulnerabilities.
Do you use open source? in your product?
Yes, yeah, we use some open source components, OpenSSL being one of them.
Interesting. Okay, thanks, Andrew.
And take one and action.
Well, that's the show. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. And remember to book your tickets to Seattle, October 16th through 18th for TDWI Accelerate.
Bringing together the brightest minds in analytics.
This wraps up episode 0-1 of our show. We'll be back with episode 0-2 soon. I'm Fern.
And I'm Fern.
Thanks again.